Well, hello there. It has been quite some time since I uploaded a video last, and I apologize. Life, work got in the way, and I had to take a break, but everything's fine. I'm back, and hopefully back to uploading on a weekly basis again. I've missed you guys. I hope you're doing well. But yes, I'm back, and we are currently hailing from my craft room. If you're just tuning in, usually I record down in my basement studio / office, and when I'm not working on that or taking photos or shooting videos, here is where I spend my time knitting, sewing, crafting, making all the things. It is my happy place. Welcome. So much has happened since I last chatted with you. Some gear has been sold, some gear has been acquired. In case you're wondering what is in this little box right here, living inside this box, my friends, is my Canon 6D Mark II. I know. I've waxed poetic about it so many times on this channel. I swore I would never sell it. I love the quality of the images it produces and the video it produces. It's been my B cam. And yes, it kind of breaks my heart to sell it, but I will say, ever since I switched to the Fuji ecosystem, I have not felt compelled to use this camera at all. It's been my B cam, my backup camera, but for photos, I can't remember the last time that I used it. I've just been reaching nonstop for my X-T4, for my X100V, and I'm a complete convert. I'm so in love with the Fuji ecosystem. Just
shut up and take my money.
Not sponsored. I've just seen the light, and I love Fuji. I'm a Fuji head, so here we are. At the end of the day, it really doesn't make sense for me to hang on to this camera anymore. So this is going to a new home, and I think, hey Bella. This is my cat Bella. She's very jealous that I'm not speaking to her. It's a really bittersweet feeling, and like many photographers that you'll watch on YouTube, most of them have started out with Canon. I started out with Canon. It was a great learning experience, but I realized Fuji is really just the ecosystem for me. It suits my needs. I enjoy using it. It inspires me to want to get out there and shoot. But now that my Canon is sold off, that leaves me with no B cam. So that begs the question, Kristin, what are you going to use as a B cam? Again, another topic for another episode coming in the near future. But today, my friends, I thought that I would chat about travel gear, travel camera gear to be more specific, because this past week or weekend, my husband and I managed to get away on a little trip. We did get in a car and drive up to Lake Minnewaska, New York, which is the Hudson Valley area if you are curious or not familiar. And this was the first time traveling with my Fuji gear. So because this trip was a bit impromptu, snap decision, I kind of had to, it's kind of like a desert island type challenge where, okay, if I could only bring 3 lenses, which ones would I bring? So I thought I would share which lenses and camera gear I brought with me on our little trip. Okay, so this is my camera bag that I travel with. And as you can see, it's not big by any means. It's very compact, lightweight. This bag is actually by Quippy, I believe that's how you pronounce it. I purchased it on Amazon for about 20 bucks, super cheap, but it's super durable. And again, lots of pockets, it can hold a lot. This is just the bag that transports my gear. When I get to said destination, I then take along this bag when I'm out and about. And this is just a Kipling mini messenger bag that you can get on, again, Amazon. It looks tiny, but it can hold quite a lot. It's got 3 separate compartments. Typically I'll put my lenses in the front pocket. It can hold, because the Fuji lenses are quite small and compact, I can fit about 3 lenses in the front, and then any other essential camera gear that I bring with me in the back, and then, my personal belongings, important stuff like money, credit cards, IDs in the middle, and then I like how it has this little front pocket here, so like a Metro card or easy access thingamajigs. But yeah, I love this thing. It has a nice long strap and, perfect for travel and street photography. But let's get to the good stuff, shall we? And again, this is subject to change. These are just the 3 lenses that I made a snap decision, like these are the lenses I'm gonna bring with me. Some of these are new. I haven't really talked about them on the channel yet, but I did bring my GoPro because we went on some hikes, some trails, nothing Nothing epic or exciting, but you know, it made for some nice B-roll shots or just, you know, snippets here and there. Because our trip was going to entail hiking, I didn't necessarily know what to expect really. I knew there was a lake, I knew there was scenery, I knew there'd probably be some wildlife, you know, but you know, to play it safe, I did bring the kit lens. And this is the 18 to 55 millimeter kit lens. This lens is nothing to sniff at. This is a tiny but mighty lens, my friends. It's the perfect travel companion because it's lightweight and just incredibly versatile. Like in situations where you don't know what to expect, you know, you've got all your bases covered here. But I did bring some prime lenses with me, and I kind of wanted two separate extremes because I feel like this covers the middle ground. But when it comes to nature, I feel like I wanted something that was wide enough to capture those epic landscape shots, and then a telephoto lens to capture any wildlife like birds. There are a lot of hawks up in the Hudson Valley. So I brought a telephoto lens, and these are two new lenses that I recently acquired. Sorry, not sorry. For my wide prime, I went with the Rokinon 12mm f2, and this came highly recommended, and I could not resist, guys. It was a toss-up between the 16mm, but I really like, I want to go big or go home when it comes to focal lengths. There's just something about a 12mm that I just could not resist. I like that little extra epicness, if that makes any sense. While this is a manual focus lens, with Fuji's highlight peaking focus system, it made focusing manually a piece of cake, guys. This was not a deal breaker for me, and it took glorious, beautiful, epic photos. So yeah, this came in handy. So glad I brought it. When it came to the telephoto lens, I recently acquired another vintage lens. Yeah, you can purchase these used super cheap. I mean, obviously used is the only option since this was, I believe, released in the 70s. But again, you're probably wondering, Kristin, what lens is that? This is the Minolta 135, I'm sorry, the MD Minolta Celtic 135mm 3.5. So yeah, that is equivalent to something about around ballpark a 200mm focal length. So this has quite a bit of reach. And if you're not familiar with Minolta lenses, their Celtic line is considered their budget line. So, you know, the build quality is not state of the art, so to speak, which is probably why it was super cheap. And the image quality is not tack sharp. Again, I'm not a pixel peeper. I'm not all about, you know, getting the crispiest, sharpest image. I just want to get the photo, and I do love a bit of, you know, lens distortion or any imperfections, and that's why I do love this. You know, I love vintage lenses. I'm, again, a total fan. I will say though, I didn't reach for this lens as much as I thought I would, but I did manage to grab some really nice shots with it, and I'm glad I brought it with, because yeah, Lake Minnewaska is very vast, it's very epic, and you know, just to be able to take a shot of a hawk or a raven like flying above was just so fun. And just to get interesting compositions of things that were far away, and anyway, it was really fun to play around with. It was the first time that I got to use it, but yeah, I can see why people are a fan of this vintage lens. So those are the lenses that I brought with me, and to be honest, I'm very happy with this kit. I think it's a great kit. If I had to switch one of the lenses out, I would probably swap the 135mm for the Fujinon 56mm f1.2. The 56 isn't as telephoto as this one, but you know, it might be an interesting focal length to play with, especially that sweet bokeh. So yeah, those are the lenses, and then obviously I brought my X-T4, which I'm shooting with, and then, of course, I had to bring the X100V. This was just the perfect grab-and-go camera. You know, after my husband and I came back from our hike, we went out to dinner, and this came along with me. And again, this has a fixed focal length of 23mm, which is a 35mm equivalent on a full frame. And I also had the Black Pro mist filter on, so we were eating outside. We went to this beer garden. It was so good. Oh my god, you guys. German food. I love German food. It's so good.
I'll have what she's having.
But yeah, we were eating outside and they had the twinkly lights on, and the Black Pro mist filter just made those twinkly lights bloom, and it was just, it's so pretty. So that came in handy for that. And then our hotel, when we arrived, after, you know, a 2-hour drive, took about 2 hours to get up there, we discovered that there was a mini trail behind our hotel. So this came along with me and I managed to grab some really nice shots along the trail. This camera just makes my heart sing so much, and I love that it has a fixed lens. I don't have to hum and haw over what focal length I should bring. It's a fixed 23mm lens. The decision is already made. I'm shooting 23mm today. So yeah, this is the perfect little travel buddy to bring with you everywhere, in my humble opinion. I forgot to mention, I also brought a little tiny mini tripod because you never know. You never know. And I love this one. It's by Ulanzi, but it has this little ball head that you can adjust and swivel, and it has like it's not a total selfie stick, but it does have a little telescope thingamajig that extends, and then, you know, it opens up into a nice little tripod. So yeah, this I found came handy. I tried to do a bit of slow shutter speed photography, but realized I did not have the correct ND filter, so that was kind of a lost cause. But this did come out on the trail with me, and it is super small. So small, in fact, that it did fit inside my little messenger bag. And there you have it. Those are the lenses and the gear that I brought along with me on my trip. And yeah, I will say that I am by no means an outdoorsy person. I'm far from it. However, with the pandemic and everything, it was just a really nice welcome break, change of pace from city life, because, you know, for the past year, we haven't been traveling much at all, you know, just getting in the car and driving a couple of hours out of town. And now that I'm into photography more now than ever, it was really nice to switch things up, take a break from street photography, and try my hand at landscape photography, nature photography. And yeah, it was a really fun challenge, and I definitely learned some new things, and, you know, got to know my camera a lot more, got to learn more about myself as a photographer. It was a really great experience. So that said, I think that'll do it for me this week. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. It's great to be back. I hope you enjoyed this episode and learned something or got inspired. If you did, let me know in the comments below. What lenses do you use or take with you when you go traveling? I would love to hear it, and I'm sure a lot of other people would love to hear as well. And if you're new here and haven't already, please feel free to like and subscribe down below. I put out a video for your viewing pleasure every week, getting back to a regular schedule. And until the next video, bye!